All right, imagine you are sitting in the doctor's office and you have just been diagnosed with Lyme disease. So you might be thinking, oh my God, am I going to die? What do I do? What are my treatment options? But as a disease ecologist, what I like to think about is, how did you get infected? So we know if you have Lyme disease, you must have been bitten by a tick carrying the Lyme disease bacteria. And in order for the tick to be carrying the Lyme disease bacteria, that means it must have previously bitten an infected animal. So in California, that typically means that it bit an infected mouse or an infected wood rat. But ticks in California, they really, really prefer to bite lizards. In what we call cafeteria trials, where you take a tick and you present it with a bunch of different animals that it could feed on, about 95% of the time, they opt for the lizard. But lizards have a protein in their blood that kills the Lyme disease bacteria, meaning if a tick bites a lizard, there's a 0% chance that it gets infected. So what I was curious about is, how long does this protective effect from the lizard last? Meaning, if I take a tick and it's bitten a lizard, and now in the future it goes to bite an infected animal, can it even get infected, or is that lizard protein perhaps still in its body? So in order to test this, what I did, we went into the field and we pulled ticks off of lizards, and we pulled ticks off of mice, and we took them into the lab, and we fed them on infected mice. And then I tested them for the presence of the Lyme disease bacteria. And what I found is, for these ticks that originally fed on mice, about 15% of them got infected. But these ticks that originally fed on lizards, 100% of them got infected. Literally every single one got infected. These lizards are double agents. So what is going on here? I think it has to do with the tick microbiome. And by that, I'm referring to the internal community of microbes, meaning bacteria, viruses, protists, et cetera, living inside the tick. And so what we see is that ticks that feed on lizards, they have a much more sparse microbiome. The bacteria in it are less abundant and less diverse compared to these ticks that fed on mice. They have a much more prolific, abundant, and diverse microbiome. So it's as if the Lyme disease bacteria, it's coming in and it encounters a tick with a microbiome that looks like this, and it's like, oh man, there's not a lot of space. Where do I go? All the nutrients are used up. I'm out of here. As opposed to when the Lyme disease bacteria encounters a tick with a microbiome that looks like this, it's like, oh yeah, all kinds of space. I'm going to settle on in here. All right, so that's probably an oversimplification, and we're doing research now to understand better mechanistically what is going on there. But what we do know is that these lizards, despite having this protein in their blood that kills the Lyme disease bacteria, they're also doing something that is making ticks more readily infected in the future. All right, so back to you in the doctor's office. You're going to be fine, by the way. Antibiotics are very effective against this disease agent. But I would encourage you in the future to stay vigilant for the double agent of Lyme disease, the lizard. Thank you.